is the installation of raw materials. Prepare the raw materials and install them on the shaft. The material rack can support up to 6 rolls of raw materials. First, remove the fixing screws outside the roller. Put the fabric into the shaft. Push it to the bottom close to the spring by hand. Pay attention to the spring inside the shaft. Make sure the spring is in a tight status. And then tighten the outer screw. The installation method of the other 5 rolls is the same. The second step is to calibrate the horizontal position of the machine. This is a gradienter. Place the gradienter on the machine's material rack to ensure that the level value is less than 0.1. Place the gradienter in some parts of the machine to ensure that the machine is close to the level. The third step is to install raw material. First, it is the first layer. Pass the raw materials into the 4 feeding rods and turn. And then pass it between the 2 rods at the top. In the same way into the other rods. Pass the second layer of raw materials into the 4 feed rods in sequence. Then pass it into the middle of the 2 rods at the bottom. And then pass it through the yellow rubber wheel. The installation method of the other layers is the same. Fold all the fabric together and insert it into the rubber wheel. At this time, turn the handle counterclockwise to make the feeding smoother. Pass it below the roller and pull it out between the 2 wheels. Refix the material by adjusting the tightness of the 2 outer screws. Then the first layer of fabric, pull it down and pass it between the 2 iron wheels. Turn the 2 black rotary knobs counterclockwise to adjust the distance between the 2 iron wheels, so that the fabric can pass through smoothly. Pass all the fabric together through the forming wheel together. Turn the handle to make it move a short distance to ensure smooth feeding. It is more convenient to feed the material. That is, wrap the first layer around the others layers below, and then feed it. Turn on the power switch. Click to enter the system. Switch to manual mode. Then click manual and ear loop. Click the left off and right off in the manual interface. For safety, temporarily turn off the ear loop device in the ultrasound system. Click Reset to change the machine speed to 20 millimeters per second. switch the manual mode to automatic mode, and press the Start button. Tighten the two black knobs until there is a clear print on the mask. Then change it to manual mode. Click Start. The machine will feed it step by step. And then send the formed mask into the roller. Then pass the ear loop welding mechanism to iron blocks, the second ear loop welding mechanism, and the shaft in turn. Turn the handle left to make the rubber wheel lift slightly to make feeding smooth. Then put the formed mask into the iron wheel, fold and place it on the support frame. Turn the handle counterclockwise to adjust the gap between the two wheels to make it better for mask feeding. Then put the mask into the following iron wheels in sequence. And then press the Start button to make the machine automatically feed. The fourth step is functional explanation. Here is the feeding roller. It feeds and fixes the formed mask. Here's the pressure adjustment roller. If the pressure is too high, the distance from the welding edge to the edge of the mask will decrease. If the pressure is too low, the distance will be smaller. Here is the edge sealing mechanism. Here is also a feeding roller, which also feeds and fixes the formed mask. Here is the cutter roller, which cuts the shape of the mask. The blades are hidden in the sponge. Please be careful of injury when operating. Here is the final feeding roller, which feeds the final mask product. The fifth step is to install ear loop. The ear loop is installed on the other side of the machine. First, we take out one end of the ear loop, pass through the iron rod at the top, and then pass in the small hole in the iron block. When passing between the rubber wheels, pay attention to the spring behind the rubber wheel. Pull the rubber wheel to make the ear loop feeding. Then pass the two rollers and turn. And then pass into the hole below, pull out from the bottom and then pass through the small roller. After passing into the buckle, turn the buckle to lock the ear loop. The installation method of the other ear loop mechanism is the same. The sixth step is the installation of the nose wire. If the nose wire is in a roll, in order to better protect it, do not remove the outer packaging film of the nose wire. Remain parts of film outside the nose wire. Then insert the nose wire between the two discs and tighten the 3 screws outward to secure the disc. After the disc is fixed, place it in the rod and rotate the handle clockwise to lock it. Insert the nose wire into the iron wheel and then into the straightener and turn. If it is not smooth or blocked, turn the 2 screws above to adjust the distance between the wheels. Then the nose wire can be smoothly fed into the straightener, and then pass it into the guide tube. the 2-wire feeding rollers in turn. If the clearance is too small to pass the nose wire, this can be adjusted by the black knobs at the top. Then pass it into the card slot and into the hole. The installation of the nose wire is finished. The 7th step is to start the machine. After all the raw materials are ready, switch the machine to manual mode. Press the reset button. After the machine is reset, switch the machine to automatic mode. Press start to start the machine. The 8th step is to adjust the machine. If the mask is printed on the left or right, not in the middle, the printing position can be adjusted by adjusting the position of the fabric on the material rack. Push the fabric inward and outward until the mask is printed on the right place. In addition, on the folding mechanism there are 5 lines on the mask. The 3rd line is in the middle. It needs to be aligned with the protruding part of the folding mechanism to ensure that the folding mask is folded in half. This can be adjusted by turning the black knob. Finally, adjust the position of the cutter. The finished mask is cut by this cutter. If the cutter position is wrong, the effect of the finished mask will be bad. At this time, the position of the cutter should be adjusted by turning the 2 black knobs. Loosen the fixing screw with tools. Rotate the cutter to adjust to the correct position. And then tighten the screws and knobs.